So we were assigned to cover the city of Norco. It's named after the Northern Corona Land Company. It has a history of sort of being this rural town. And what Norco is this oasis of the American West surrounded by the desert of cities here in Southern California. And we're out there to just find the story of sort of this quintessential of American West that we all know but have never really experienced. And we're just walking into these people's lives and trying to bring that Americana out.
We see this guy on his horse going down the little dirt sidewalk, and he's shirtless. So we roll up on him, and we're trying to explain to him that we're in a DOD workshop and we're Air Force and all this, and he steps in and he says, "Cut to the chase." So we cut to the chase and we tell him, "Hey, we want to take photos and video of you." So he welcomes us in. We pretty much cover what he does throughout the day. Once he wakes up in the morning, he's pretty much outside for the most part the whole day. The reason I chose this photo as my final frame isn't because it's my favorite photo or the best photo, but I think it best describes who Chris is. He's in his golf cart, which is custom made with wood. He has a gun on the back of it, and he's shirtless, got this permanent suntan. He's actually a surfer turned cowboy, and he has his foot up, he's smoking a cigarette, and he's just chilling, just relaxing. And that's who he is, and that's why I chose this photo as my final frame.
So we met Cowboy Al at the American Legion when we first got to Norco. So we roll in there and we start talking to some of the people, and everyone said, "You want to talk about horses, you want to talk about the history of Norco, go talk to Cowboy Al." I thought he had a story, he looked real interesting, he had the cowboy shirt on, the cowboy hat, and he had the biggest, greasiest plate of eggs and bacon that I'd ever seen. You know, here's this ancient, he's 95 years old, and he's eating something that would give me a heart attack. You know, he was a World War II vet, if I recall, it was the 7th Armored Division. You know, rolled in on Normandy, survived the Battle of the Bulge. Didn't get a scratch on him for the whole time. You know, I think just Al and his personality and the surrounding land, it just fit perfectly. So I picked that as the final frame because it really does represent not just Al, but also Norco.
My piece that I followed was this little girl named Morgan Bowen. And it really appealed to me because it just gave a sort of softer feel to your typical cowboy. You know, it's not the gritty cowboy, it's not the old man, it's not the guy smoking or dipping. It's the little girl. She's born and raised here and is coming up as a cowgirl. She's only 8 years old, and she's out there riding with the big girls. The final frame that I picked and why I chose it was an ending shot at the end of the night. It was down in the barn, and her and her mom shared this little moment of, you know, getting the horses put up for the night, and you could see them under the light. We got a nice sky. You got a good feel of how tiny this little girl is, but it just sort of embodied the family tie that this town has and community has with their love of horses.
So my final frame, yeah, the shot, it took an instant, but building up to the shot took a whole week. Well, I'm out there, me and my videographer, we're talking to everybody, you know, what they're about, what they do, and it all culminates in, you know, getting together and riding their horses and living a lifestyle they can't live anywhere else. So I chose this final shot because it's a culmination of everything we've done over the week. It's a group of riders crossing a river, you know, led by this cowboy with flowing blonde hair, cigarette in his mouth, just screaming America as he crosses the river. And this man, he hasn't driven a vehicle in 10 years. He goes to work, he's built half the buildings in town, and that's how he lives. There's nothing cliche about it. That's every day for this guy. And to be able to capture just this moment of this guy living his life and just being American, being Western, being who he is. And that's why I chose the final shot.